Some people think they can break anyone. They believe with enough pressure, lies, manipulation or betrayal, they can tear someone down and walk away without consequences. And often they try this with people who seem quiet, independent and self-contained, like the Sigma male. What they don't realize is they just picked the worst possible target. Sigma males move differently. They don't show emotion easily. They don't cry out when something hits them. They don't beg, chase, or try to get even in obvious ways. That silence is often mistaken for weakness. But what happens behind that silence is a transformation that most people never see coming. The Sigma male isn't fragile. He doesn't break easily. But if someone tries to destroy him emotionally, mentally, socially, he doesn't just survive. He evolves. And by the time that evolution is complete, the person who tried to hurt him is left confused, exposed, and often deeply regretting every move they made. That's because the Sigma doesn't play the game the way others do. He doesn't fight for attention. He doesn't need a group to back him up. But when he's pushed too far, he becomes a version of himself that's sharper, colder, and completely focused. He doesn't rage, he restructures. People who try to destroy him think they're in control. They think they're watching him fall apart. But what they're actually watching is a reset, a reprogramming, a rebuild. And when it's done, the Sigma male comes back with a clarity and power that can't be stopped. This isn't about revenge. It's about transformation. And that's why trying to destroy a Sigma male is not just a waste of time, it's a guaranteed regret. Reason number 1, he rebuilds stronger. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that the Sigma male will stay down after being hurt. Maybe he lost something important. Maybe someone betrayed him. Maybe someone tried to isolate him, ruin his reputation, or turn people against him. Whatever it was, it looked like damage, but that damage never lasts. Instead of collapsing, he studies the pieces. He examines what broke, what cracked, what failed. And then he begins to rebuild, not just to recover, but to rise with more strength than he had before. That's because he doesn't just patch himself back together. He reinvents. He takes the pain and turns it into fuel. He takes the lessons and turns them into new systems. The time spent in isolation becomes time spent leveling up. While others are expecting him to stay lost, he's laying the foundation for a comeback no one saw coming. This rebuilding process is quiet. He doesn't announce what he's doing. He doesn't post about healing. He just works. He gets stronger in silence. He develops new strategies, new habits, new layers of discipline. And by the time he returns, he's operating on a completely different level. The people who tried to destroy him usually don't realize what's happening until it's too late. They start seeing his name again, hearing his voice again, watching him succeed again, but this time with a colder edge. This time with zero tolerance for the people who pushed him down in the first place. They thought they broke him. What they really did was give him a reason to become something sharper, harder, and more focused than ever before. That's the cycle. Try to destroy a Sigma male, and all you do is push him into a version of himself that's even harder to deal with. And when that version shows up, the regret begins. Reason number 2, he becomes invisible, then strikes. When a Sigma male is attacked, betrayed, or pushed too far, he doesn't respond the way most people do. He doesn't start arguments. He doesn't go public. He doesn't try to clear his name in front of a crowd. He disappears. And that disappearance makes people think they've won. But they haven't won anything. What's actually happening is one of the most calculated responses a Sigma can make. he's gone silent to plan. While they celebrate, he's observing. While they spread lies, he's collecting truth. While they feel powerful, he's preparing his next move. This invisibility isn't weakness, it's patience. It's control. And it's exactly what allows him to strike when no one's expecting it. He might come back with proof, with power, or with a new direction that completely shifts the ground under his enemy's feet. The timing of the Sigma male is what makes him so dangerous when he's pushed. He doesn't rush. He watches for cracks. He listens for silence. And once the perfect opening appears, he makes his move, and it's fast, clean, and final. He might expose someone. He might cut ties in a way that leaves the other person completely alone. He might make a career shift, a financial move, or a social decision that leaves those who targeted him suddenly irrelevant. This strike doesn't come with warning. That's what makes it sting. The person who thought they buried him suddenly finds themselves face to face with someone who saw everything, remembered everything, and acted with exact precision. He didn't shout. He didn't beg. He just waited. And when the moment came, he flipped the balance of power completely. The person who tried to destroy him ends up realizing too late he was never broken. He was just quiet. And that quiet was never surrender, it was strategy. Reason number 3, he holds long memory and knows details. The Sigma male is not quick to forget. He doesn't hold grudges in a dramatic way, but he remembers everything, especially how people behave under pressure, in moments of conflict, or when they think he's weak. His memory is long, and it's exact. This becomes a major problem for anyone who tries to destroy him. Because while they move on, he's storing details. Not to obsess over them, but to make sure they're never repeated. He studies what happened, who said what, and when the shift occurred. That level of recall gives him a serious advantage. He remembers the insults people tried to hide in compliments. He remembers who stayed silent when he was being attacked. He remembers who smiled to his face and talked behind his back. And more importantly, he keeps a mental map of who to never trust again. This doesn't mean he's petty. It means he's strategic. The Sigma male doesn't move emotionally. He moves with intention. And that intention is based on data, on patterns, on behavior he saw when people thought they could break him. When the time comes for decisions, professional or personal, he draws on that memory. He knows exactly who played what role in his downfall, and he makes choices accordingly. People might not even realize they've been removed from his circle until it's done. But by then it's too late. This quiet tracking of behavior is something most people don't expect from him. They assume he's too isolated to notice. But he notices everything. And when he starts acting on what he remembers, there's no warning, no speech, just consequences. Trying to destroy someone who never forgets, who never stops watching, and who always moves based on what he's learned, that's not a battle anyone wins. That's a trap people set for themselves. Reason number 4, his network adapts. He gains loyalty. One of the biggest surprises for those who try to destroy a Sigma male is how strong his quiet support network really is. On the surface, it might seem like he's alone. He keeps to himself. He doesn't broadcast relationships. He doesn't play social games. But that doesn't mean he's unsupported. When someone makes a move against him, especially one that's loud or public, it often reveals more about the attacker than it does about the Sigma. People watch. They take note of who's being unfair, who's manipulating, who's lying. And while the Sigma male stays silent, others begin to form opinions. Authentic people, people who value honesty, focus, and quiet strength, often rally behind the Sigma male after he's been targeted. They may not say it loudly, but they offer him new opportunities, new connections, and new respect. That's because real people recognize real energy. And when they see him remain calm, focused, and principled under attack, their respect for him grows. At the same time, the person who tried to destroy him begins to lose credibility. They look emotional, petty, insecure, and without realizing it, they've started damaging their own social reputation. While the Sigma male says nothing, their own behavior does the work for him. Eventually, new doors open for the Sigma. New alliances are formed. People who once ignored him now start listening. And often, it's the attempt to break him that ends up being the reason he rises. This quiet shift in his network is powerful, because while others are still reacting to drama, he's building new ground under his feet. He's surrounded by people who actually respect him, not because he fought back, but because he stayed real. Trying to isolate a Sigma male usually has the opposite effect. It connects him to even stronger people. And by the time those connections are made, the person who started it all realizes they just made him more powerful. Reason number 5, he uses your attempts against you. There's a unique trait in the Sigma male that makes him especially hard to beat. He knows how to reverse energy. Meaning, whatever you throw at him, he studies it, absorbs it, and then finds a way to use it against you. If you lie about him, he watches what you say. Then, at the right time, he presents facts that contradict your story. Not in an emotional way, but with calm clarity that leaves people questioning everything you said. If you try to manipulate him emotionally, he doesn't react the way you expected. He detaches, studies, and then slowly exposes your pattern. He doesn't chase revenge. He doesn't try to get even. But he does understand how to use information. And when someone tries to destroy him, they usually give him more than enough material to work with. This is one of the quietest but most brutal ways the Sigma male flips the script. He lets people dig their own hole. He doesn't argue. He doesn't post back. He just observes. And eventually he finds the weak point. He might call it out in a private setting. He might use it to end a deal, walk away from a contract, or remove someone from his circle. Or, if the damage was serious enough, he may use that information to end someone's credibility in one move. That ability to turn attacks into strategy is not something people see coming. They think he's passive. They think he's distant. But the entire time, he's preparing. And when he responds, it's not chaotic, it's exact. Trying to take down a Sigma male is like throwing fire at someone who knows how to redirect heat. It may burn for a moment, but eventually that flame turns around. And when it does, the one who lit it is the one who gets scorched. Reason number 6, the cost to you is irreversible. When someone tries to destroy a Sigma male, the damage doesn't end with him. In fact, most of the lasting damage circles right back to the one who started it. And the worst part? That damage is usually permanent. At first, it may seem like things are working. Maybe the Sigma male lost something, reputation, relationships, momentum. But as time passes, the truth begins to surface. His strength shows. His silence speaks louder than any defense ever could. And the people who paid attention begin to question everything. That's when the consequences start to land. The attacker loses respect. People who once listened to them start backing away. The manipulations become obvious. The lies get exposed. And the image they tried to create starts to collapse. This collapse isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just a quiet loss of credibility. Invitations stop coming. Conversations dry up. Their voice carries less weight. And slowly, they start realizing they traded long-term respect for short-term control. But in other cases, the damage is louder. The Sigma male may return with clarity and impact that leaves no doubt who was on the right side of the line. He may not speak directly about what happened, but the results speak for him. His growth, his calm, his consistency, all of it highlights just how petty the other person was. And once that truth is seen, it can't be unseen. There's also internal damage, the kind the attacker feels in silence. The regret of knowing they underestimated someone who didn't fight back in the way they expected. The guilt of knowing they poked a man who never wanted conflict but ended up stronger because of it. The realization that they exposed their own character while trying to destroy someone else's. There's no way to take it back. Once you try to bring down a Sigma male and fail, your own intentions are out in the open. And even if he never says a word, people begin to see you differently. That shift can't be undone. Trying to destroy a Sigma male doesn't just fail, it reflects back. And once it does, the regret is not just emotional. It's permanent. There are many types of people in this world, but very few operate the way a Sigma male does. He doesn't lead with emotion. He doesn't beg for approval. He doesn't fight dirty, but he doesn't run from damage either. He absorbs it, learns from it, and uses it to become something even stronger. Trying to destroy a man like that is not only pointless, it's dangerous. You won't see him react right away. You won't get the drama you're looking for. What you'll get is silence, focus, and a version of him you'll wish you never awakened. By the time you realize what's happened, it's already too late. He's rebuilt. He's reset. He's returned with more clarity, more power, and less tolerance than ever before. And you? You're left trying to explain yourself to people who no longer trust your story. Every move against him becomes a move against yourself. Every attempt to break him becomes a reminder of how solid he actually is. And every rumor, insult, or betrayal becomes fuel for the exact outcome you didn't want, his rise. So if you're ever tempted to take down a Sigma male, remember this: he may be quiet, but he's not blind. He may be calm, but he's not weak. And if you push him far enough, the only thing you'll destroy is your own reputation. Because the Sigma male doesn't just survive your attack. He becomes the reason you regret ever launching it.